From the grounds of Union Field in West Deptford, New Jersey, Comcast Sports presents American Legion Baseball. Today, West Deptford hosts Cherry Hill. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Marc Narducci. It's summertime, and of course, nothing better in the summertime than baseball. Some of the premier talents in South Jersey play American Legion baseball, Mark, and these are two of the better teams in the area.
No doubt about it, Rob. It's a Camden County American Legion team, 13 teams, and one of the premier leagues, not only in Jersey, but in the country. Remember, in 2003, this West Deptford team and Haddon Heights both made it to the World Series. Both teams just really starting to get some momentum. Cherry Hill 5-3, West Deptford 4-3, and we'll get to all the ramifications in the league during the game.
Well, Cherry Hill made up primarily of Cherry Hill East and Cherry Hill West players, a few other players sprinkled in, but on the hill today, Andrew Hoffman.
Yeah, Andrew's going to a junior college in Shoals, Alabama. Division I, he got a scholarship. He just graduated from Cherry Hill West. 7 strikeouts, 8 bases on balls, so we have to watch his control today.
For West Deptford on the hill, a Rowan University product in Mike Swetansky.
Yeah, and Mike pitched at West Deptford High School. Didn't throw a whole lot in at Rowan this year. So, Rob, he's stretching his arm out, but he had a no-hitter against Mullica Hill in his last outing.
Well, stick around. We'll have the first pitch in just a moment. Welcome back to Union Field, about to get underway. Mike Swetansky on the hill to face this potent Cherry Hill lineup, led by Mike Cox. Your leadoff hitter, Cox, a teammate of Swetansky at Rowan University. Cox, a fine center fielder in his own right, but used as a pitcher at Rowan. Exclusively. First pitch misses outside, 1-0.
Remember, Rob, a couple of years ago they changed the Legion rules where I believe if you turn 19 after the first of the year you could play. So you have a lot of college sophomores to be in this league.
And Cox pops to Knish. 1 out here in the first. That'll bring up Matt Speckman. Speckman out of Cherry Hill West. A fine hitter during his high school season, just a junior. He'll be a senior in 2009. It's a Cherry Hill West program that did quite well. Won the Camden County Championship. Started off slowly and really took off as the year progressed under head coach Gary Sarno. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Do we have to say who they beat to win the Camden County Championship?
Only if you want to rub it in.
Hey, your Eastern team made it to the finals, so.
This is true.
By the way, Speckman batting .308 this summer, and then you mentioned he'll be a senior at Cherry Hill West. You talk about Cherry Hill West, Rob. They were the only team in their division to beat Shawnee this year. Shawnee, of course, winning the division and was #1 in South Jersey until a fateful weekend, losing 2 straight games, losing to Clearview in the playoffs, and then the Sacred Heart in the finals of the Diamond Classic.
Quentin Miller, the premier player in South Jersey, a big part of that Shawnee team, suffered a big loss in that game that you spoke of. Miller, drafted in the 20th round by the Pittsburgh Pirates, has a scholarship offer at the University of North Carolina. University of North Carolina just lost one of their bigger recruits, a pitcher by the name of Knapp out of northern New Jersey, who signed with the Phillies, their 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, when you're drafted that high, a lot of times you're most likely going to turn pro. And the thing about Quentin Miller is, as you know, Rob, I think they had sent the word out about his signability, and that's why he dropped in the draft, taken in the 20th round by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the signability obviously an issue. Major league teams have until August 15th to sign the players. If not, then a college player such as Miller would not be eligible again until his junior year for the draft.
Pirates were very aggressive in their drafting this year, targeting players who probably would be a tough sign, but the Pirates have been an organization who have struggled for the last 15 or so years, not a 500 team during that span. Signed their number 2 pick, or drafted a number 2 pick in Tanner Scheppers, who most projected to be a top 10 pick, had some shoulder problems. And he's the type of player that the Pirates drafted this year. Also drafted a Robert Grossman in the 5th round, who was also projected to be a higher draft pick. And you saw that in Quentin Miller, just very aggressive and hoping that when push came to shove that maybe they'd be able to sign them for a bit of a discount anyway.
Here's a guy, Austin Lay, who has a .600 on-base percentage this summer. He's really doing the job for Coach Kroyak.
And Swetansky misses outside. He's walked Speckman. Falls behind the number 3 hitter. 1-0. Austin Lay. Fine talent. Playing right field today. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
It's interesting about Swetowski, as we said, didn't pitch a whole lot for Rowan, so they're still trying to stretch his arm out, but he's going to be a major factor this summer for this West Deptford team.
1-1. Was a fine player for Cherry Hill East under head coach Eric Radbell, graduated last year. And again, playing right field tonight for Cherry Hill. Speckman with a fair lead at first base, not much of a threat to run. Pitch misses. It's now 3-1. So Swetansky, a little bit of trouble here early, first inning.
You know, he's coming off an effort. This is a Tuesday night, this game. He last pitched on Thursday when it was 19-0 in a 5-inning game. A no-hitter he actually had against Mullica Hill.
Two straight free passes. Speckman over to second base in scoring position for Jason Kelmer, who graduated from Cherry Hill West last year and playing down at Salem Community College in Salem, New Jersey, Division II junior college.
By the way, even though they walked Lay, and you don't want to walk batters, I mean, the guy has 17 RBIs already in 8 games, so you have to obviously be very, very careful with him.
Big curveball in the dirt, and that skips away from Ricky Ponto. His throw down to third base will be late, so runners at second and third base. Cherry Hill with 2 runners in scoring position now, and their 4-hole hitter Kelmer at the plate.
Rob, as you know, if you don't have command of that off-speed pitches, in a league as good as the Camden County American Legion League, they can sit on that fastball, and especially a team like Cherry Hill with the offensive power that it has.
Swetansky, some control issues now, falling behind 2-0. The big third baseman, Jason Kelmer. Kelmer on the season with 9 RBI. Fouls it away.
You know, it's interesting, in 16 innings pitched coming into today, Swetansky had walked 8 batters. It's not a ratio you like. He also struck out 26, but not the kind of ratio that you want to see as a coach.
The 2-1. Upstairs, and it's now 3-1 to Kelmer. On deck is Sean Collins, recent graduate of Cherry Hill East, participated in the Carpenter Cup.
Kelmer with 9 RBIs this year too, so he's been delivering.
Foul down the right field line, and this will drift out of play, so the count now full to Kelmer.
Rob, the other thing, we talked about Swetowski not having command of his off-speed pitches. He still hasn't gotten that fastball consistently. It doesn't seem like he's comfortable yet, so we'll see how that develops.
Curveball in the dirt. Ponto blocks, and Speckman retreats. So 3 walks here in the first inning. And Mark, as we like to say in the coaching industry, this is why we have gray hair.
Hey, I look at it this way. At least you have hair.
Get back to me next year. So Ponto, the Gateway product, will talk to Swetansky. Those two were rivals. Swetansky playing here at West Deptford High School. Gateway enjoyed a fine season under head coach Frank Alloway. He started out slow and took off. And their playoff run ended very oddly. First pitch low and away. Trailing Buna, bases loaded. What looked to be a single. One of the base runners ran into the ball, and the game ended on a single, essentially, as it is scored in the book. Collins swings through the high fastball, count even at 1.
You know what's interesting about Collins this summer for Cherry Hill's Legion team? He actually has more RBIs than hits, Rob, with the 5 RBIs, just 3 hits out of 15 at bats. So he's still looking for his stroke.
And misses high. It's now 2-1 to Collins. Collins will go on to play at Stockton. Stockton has become a program on the rise.
Pretty good baseball, isn't it, Robin, at New Jersey Athletic Conference?
Absolutely.
Now that was a good pitch that time by Swetansky. Jammed him. In fact, Collins actually did a decent job of just fighting that off, but you think he's got to still keep throwing the fastballs with the bases loaded.
2-2 delivery. Swetansky fouled away. Counts holds at 2. Bases are loaded on walks. Cox led off with a pop out, and then Speckman, Lee, and Kilmer all walked. Collins now with a count of 2-2 on deck is the pitcher Hoffman. Curveball swung on and missed. And Collins, a strikeout victim, 2 down. So Swetansky sees a slight opening here and hopes to work his way out. Hoffman will step in.
So much for my theory about he'll throw all fastballs. May have been the best curveball that he threw today.
Curveball. Nice hook for a strike. And now Swetansky finding his rhythm.
It's interesting about Hoffman. He pitched for West this year. He's also played some in the infield, and this was his first year as a varsity performer.
And that's a strike. 0-2. Well, West had a pretty darn good pitching staff. Vince Valoro on his way to the University of Pennsylvania. Played for John Cole, former head coach at Rowan University. And Caligaro was their #1 hurler. He'll be a senior next year. In the dirt, Ponto knocks it down, 1-2.
Some people, Rob, and you would know better than I would, some people thought that West may have had the deepest pitching staff in South Jersey. Whereas, when you go with the #4, the #5, you're still facing a pretty good pitcher there.
They used their top 3 pitchers almost exclusively now. In the Camden County tournament, we faced a kid who actually hadn't pitched the entire season. And he did quite well for himself. So, I mean, when you're able to bring in somebody who hasn't pitched the entire year and he's, delivering out after out, I think that speaks volumes about what you said, Mark, the depth that staff had. This is high. Count full. So opportunity for these runners to take off. A single will surely score 2, and a double likely 3. Swetansky has loaded the bases with walks. The 3-2 delivery. Driven right up the gut, right at the center fielder, and Reyes handles, and that'll do it here for Cherry Hill. So they leave the bases loaded. No runs on no hits, 3 men left on. We're through 1/2 inning. We're scoreless at Union Field.
It's interesting because as much as Swetansky struggled, a lot of times if you're Cherry Hill, you don't want to let someone like that off the hook because he could kind of gain some momentum. He really battled that inning.
here you see the replay, and Hoffman had a good swing on that.
And Reyes did a nice job because, as you know, sometimes the toughest balls to judge in the outfield are the ones right at you. And got his bearings pretty quickly and made the catch. Reyes can roam a lot of ground out there in center field. Played for Pensgrove this past season. West Deptford draws from quite a few teams. Pennsville, West Deptford.
They actually have a Winslow product.
Yeah, a GCIT player.
Gateway.
They've over the years have had Paulsboro players. Tom Jones started this franchise and he's still coaching it. In 1993, had his 400th win last year. He's just done a great job in the American Legion. As we mentioned, one of 8 teams in 2003 to go to the World Series in Oklahoma, along with Haddon Heights that year. That was some feat.
Tom Jones with his son Tom Jones Jr., who was also a coach at Paulsboro. Jason Williams, who was a fine player here at West Deptford, and Bill Nevius, who, if memory serves me correctly, was a Paulsboro product.
Well, we're talking about his son, Bill, who was I think a 93 graduate of Paulsboro. Very good athlete as well. But it's going to be interesting with Hoffman, as we mentioned, as you see the starting lineup there, Rob.
Reyes, Wentz, Haynes, Ponto, McGuckin, Hogate, Renaro, Birdsall, and Kenish. Your starting lineup for the West Deptford Legion. And there you see your defensive lineup. Collins behind the plate. Battery of Hoffman and Collins. Kelmer, Speckman, Mitchell, Del Monte, Sabazco, Cox. And we spoke at length about Austin Lake. Luis Reyes will lead things off here in the first, facing Hoffman. First pitch inside, and Reyes just out of the way of that fastball.
Now, Rob, again, it's going to be very interesting to see about Hoffman's control. Eight walks in 9 2/3 innings this summer. So
count evens at 1.
Reyes 7 for 21 this summer, 333.
Beat foul down third base. 1-2 now to Reyes.
Second on the team with 9 runs. You expect that from the table setter. As we mentioned, has very good speed. Roams a lot of ground in center field.
And what you like is, 7 walks out of that leadoff position.
A bunch of these players still have not picked colleges. He's a Pensgrove grad and still looking to find a school. As you know, with baseball recruiting, sometimes it goes late into the summer.
Two balls and 2 strikes here to Reyes, your center fielder. Called strike 3 on the fastball.
Excellent location that time by Hoffman. A lot of times you usually see batters frozen, Rob, with curveballs off speed pitches. That time Reyes was actually frozen by that fastball. I think he was expecting something else.
Stepping in, it's Wentz. And that misses inside. It's 1-0. Count even at 1. Tim Wentz, your left fielder.
He's only going to be a junior at West Deptford, so this is, tremendous experience for him this summer. He's only had 4 at-bats coming into today, 2 for 4. And even I can figure out that that's a 500 average.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Tim Wentz. Donnie Haynes on deck for West Deptford. Post 100. Curveball. And the count now goes full. Three-two delivery. Beat foul, and that hit Wentz in the batter's box. Great night tonight, Mark. About 80 degrees, 30% humidity. Feel like we're on the left coast. Wentz continues the battle.
A little bit ahead of that off-speed pitch, but he just got enough of it to stay alive.
And that's ball 4. Wentz reaches on the walk. That'll bring up Donnie Haynes. American Legion baseball has kind of ebbed and flowed through the years. For years, American Legion was really regarded highly throughout the nation, and then received some competition from a variety of other organizations, Senior Babe Ruth, etc. And again, in this area, American Legion has seen a rise of late. Now you have a lot of AAU baseball being played. I was talking to Scott Lyle. In fact, he's a teammate of mine on my summer league team. His father is Sparky Lyle. Sparky Lyle never played high school baseball, Mark. In fact, his high school did not have a baseball team. Actually was signed right out of American Legion. Needless to say, that was a success story. World Series ring with the Yankees and also with Philadelphia Phillies. No balls and 2 strikes here to Haynes. Swung on and missed. Collins throw down to second base, not in time. Wentz with the stolen base. But the second strikeout as Haynes goes down swinging, and Ricky Ponto will step in.
Haynes was one of the premier power hitters in South Jersey, so it shows you a little bit about Hoffman's fastball that he was able to throw it by him that time.
Collins with a good arm behind the plate. Now, obviously, is a catch a little bit tougher when someone's swinging through the pitch, but a bang-bang play at second base. But Wentz illustrating good speed and just sliding in under the tag of Speckman. Fastball misses high. It's 1-0.
By the way, our umpires today, Dave Loughlin behind the plate, Tom Bartley on the bases.
And getting back to my point with American Legion, of course, Brooklawn, one of the premier programs, not just in the state, but in the nation. And line to Lee in right field will end things for West Deptford. We're through 1 inning at Union Field. It's American Legion baseball, and we're scoreless. Welcome back to Union Field in West Deptford, New Jersey. Top 2, we are scoreless. American Legion action. Cherry Hill visiting West Deptford. Swetansky on the hill. And his first pitch to Mitchell. A called strike. It's 0-1. Mitchell, Sabazco, and Del Monte. 7, 8, 9 hitters here for Cherry Hill. And Swetansky quickly ahead, 0-2. Swetansky really struggled in that first inning, walking 3 batters, but as you said, Mark, he's a quality pitcher, and Cherry Hill really needs to take advantage in that situation because once he finds his groove, he's going to be tough.
Well, what you like about him, too, and you saw it on that last pitch, Rob, he's not afraid to come inside on the batters. As you know, the success of pitching using both sides of the plate.
1-2.
Swetansky's curveball misses high and tight. It's 1-2. Mitchell, your shortstop. He'll be attending St. Joe's University.
2-2.
Still trying to find that curveball. Had that one great curveball that got Collins last inning on that strikeout.
Called strike 3. So Swetansky with his second strikeout hitting that inside corner.
Yeah, we talked about again how he likes to go inside on the batters. Excellent pitch that time as he saw Mitchell was kind of crowding the plate.
Look at the setup of Swetansky over on the left side of the rubber. Typically, they like to see you set up on the right side of the rubber, although Curt Schilling likes to set up on that side, and it's hard to argue with what Curt Schilling has done over the years. This is high. See, Swetansky, and his delivery is very quick and gets to his balance position very quickly, and a lot of times that lends itself to some degree of inconsistency. Ground ball over to third base, picked up and thrown over, and Kenish records the second assist.
It was Greg Sabasco that time who'd been very, very hot coming in. 6 out of 13. Thing about this is it could be a tough play, but Kenish took his time. You know, a lot of times, Rob, the tendency is to rush that. He took his time and made a good throw to first base.
Del Monte fouls it down the first base side.
Wow, he's hitting .550, 9 for 19, Rob. This is your number 9 guy in the order. It's almost like a second leadoff hitter.
Well, I'm not suggesting this is the case, but a lot of guys like to have a good hitter in the 9 hole. I guess the philosophy is not to clog up the 1, 2, and 3 hitter. It's not necessarily a philosophy that I subscribe to, but it is not uncommon. He's going to go on to play at Camden County College. In the dirt. And it's 3-1 now to Del Monte. On deck, Cox.
And I'll tell you, Swetansky could use an inning that he throws few pitches because he threw a lot in that first inning.
Ground ball up the middle, high hop, and that'll find its way through. So Del Monte continues his hot hitting. And that's the first hit for the post 100 West Deptford American Legion squad.
Well, Brett Birdsall, who covers a lot of ground, that ball just hopped over him that time, took a hop. He had pretty good anticipation getting to that point, but ball just went over him.
Cox popped out in the first inning, beats a ball into right field, and Del Monte will pull up, and the back throw, close play, and he just got back in.
Wow, that's a great throw by Dan McGuckin that time in right field.
Well, McGuckin, one of the better players in all of South Jersey during this past season, and there you see why a strong arm from the right fielder McGuckin almost taking out Del Monte. And once again, Cherry Hill threatening here with runners on first and second and 2 outs for Speckman, who walked on a 3-2 pitch in that first frame. Swetansky, line drive up the middle. Reyes will field Del Monte coming around to score. The throw from Reyes cut off by Pato, and Cherry Hill scores first. Speckman, an RBI single.
5th RBI of the season for Speckman. Swetansky wanted to cut that throw off that time as he saw it wasn't going to get to the plate, but it went over him. And now Cherry Hill with runners at the corners.
Austin Lee, who also walked in that first inning. Very dangerous hitter. Swetansky fakes the throw over to third base.
I don't think Speckman's going to think about trying to steal, because you don't want to do anything to take a chance of making out with Lay at the plate with the way he's been hitting. As we said, with the 17 RBIs.
Certainly not early in the count. Not only that, but by holding on Speckman, you open up the hole on that right side for Lee, the lefty. Curveball misses high and away. Count evens at 1. Well, Swetansky was cruising in this this second inning. He struck out Mitchell and got Sabazko to ground out to third base. But since then, it's been 3 straight singles. And Cherry Hill on top 1-0.
And again, Rob, they've been hitting his fastball because he has not, with regularity, gotten that curveball over.
Ball gets away, and the wild pitch will allow Cherry Hill's Cox to score. It's now 2-0 Cherry Hill. Speckman over to second base. And they'll come out and talk to Swetansky.
By the way, that was Cox's 11th run scored this season.
You mentioned before that the playoff system in American Legion has undergone some changes. Mark?
Well, Rob, they used to have 4 districts of 8 teams, and the top 2 teams in each district would make up the 8 teams that go to the state tournament. This year, they're changing it. Bill Nevius goes to the mound. This year, they're changing it to 8 districts of 8 teams, and only the winner will go advance to the state tournament. West Deptford, by the way, will have an automatic bid because West Deptford is one of the 8 teams that is hosting the tournament. So the teams that are hosting the tournament get in either way. Although Tom Jones really doesn't want his players to know that, because he says we want to, play with a sense of urgency this season. So West Deptford will be hosting it. But the other thing is the Camden County American Legion, Rob, has 13 teams, and 6 of them, the league has been granted 6 berths into the state tournament, with West Deptford being one with the automatic. But what they've agreed upon, and I think it's a good idea, they do not want to go in a district where one of their teams is, because obviously only the winner can go. So the Camden County Legion teams are going to be spread out throughout the state of New Jersey in the district tournaments. None of them other than West Deptford will be here when they have the district. And by the way, we have to say, even though it's called the Camden County American Legion teams, we know our geography. There are teams from Burlington and Gloucester County also in the league.
Swung on and missed, so Swetansky retires late to end the inning, but not before some damage is done. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 man left on base. We're through 1.5. Cherry Hill on top, 2-0. Of course, we mentioned before that Brooklawn really the premier program, I dare say, on the East Coast, Mark, and this year no different.
No, Brooklawn, and again, a lot of these teams, we have to say, Rob, with 13 teams in the Camden County American Legion League, they will play each other twice. So obviously that's 24 league games, and a lot of them, like we said, West Deptford had only played 7 games at this point. Cherry Hill just 8. Well, Brooklyn had only played 6, but was 6-0. And with a very young team, but one obviously capable of doing some damage.
Let's take a look at that throw from McGuckin trying to catch Del Monte, being a little too aggressive. A bang, bang play.
And actually, Raniero got the throw. Actually, the throw was there on time, but Raniero was too far from the bag and couldn't quite stretch it and make that tag. That was a heck of a throw, though.
Raniero setting up the cut for the throw to third base. And that's the importance of hitting the cutoff, man. You can see, why fundamentals so critical. See that the Union Field was greeted with a different look this year, Mark. Seat backs introduced here at Union Field, one of the premier facilities in South Jersey.
Yeah, it's another nice addition to what a lot of people think is the nicest field in South Jersey. Not counting the Camden River Sharks, obviously.
Fouled away. This is McGuckin, who we spoke of. Winslow Township product.
He's looking at Stockton's one of the schools he's considering. He's one of the people that has not made a commitment yet.
Of course, one of his teammates, Jason Gladden, one of the premier players in South Jersey this past year. And he had himself quite a career starting as a freshman at Winslow. One ball and 2 strikes to the right fielder, McGuckin. Hoffman misses low and in. Count evens at 2.
Both McGuckin and Gladden were first team all Group 4 selections for Winslow Township. McGuckin, by the way, batting .423.
Grounded to the shortstop and in plenty of time as Mitchell throws over. 1 out here in the second.
It's a nice job by the first baseman, Jason Kelmer, because that throw was high and to keep his foot on the bag, didn't jump up for it, but did a nice job.
Hogate will step in as the designated hitter. Hitting for Swetansky. Terry Hogate will get his first look at Hoffman. Misses low, it's 1-0.
By the way, Rob, tonight, one of the players West Deptford without is John Coppage, who was, you remember him as the quarterback at Pennsgrove High and a very good baseball player. Not here because he's going to be playing in the Adam Talaferro Bowl on Thursday. Adam Talaferro Football Classic, so that's where he is.
Which we will also have here on Comcast. Something we're proud to be a part of each and every year. Adam Talaferro, just truly an inspirational story. Just graduating from Rutgers University Law School, and what a story that is.
And the great part is how much he's given back, both with his foundation and what he's done for people in this area.
Grounded weakly over to Speckman. 2 down here in the second for Renaro. Scott Renaro, second baseman. On deck, it's Birdsall. Cherry Hill, post 372. They draw from Cherry Hill West and East, as we mentioned. The roster made up primarily of players from those 2 schools. However, Maple Shade and Haddonfield also has some players rostered on here. And players from Camden Catholic who live in Maple Shade or Cherry Hill.
Renaro, just graduate of West Deptford.
Curveball in the dirt, it's 2-1.
So he's been playing in this field for quite a while. By the way, he's only 3 for 15 on the year, but he scored 8 runs.
Three balls and 1 strike. Count now full to Renaro.
Rob, I like the pace that Hoffman's working on. He doesn't really mess around, gets the ball, gets the sign, and just misses that time on that inside fastball for ball 4.
See Hoffman also working off of the left side of the rubber.
Again, inside. It's good.
Hoffman has a good working fastball that kind of runs in on the right-handed hitter. And here you see Brett Birdsall.
Again, both of these pitchers are not afraid to go inside. Birdsall, recent graduate of Pennsville. He's looking at some junior colleges.
Collins to throw down to first base, not in time. And Hoffman falls behind 2-0 to Birdsall. On deck, it's Knish.
Well, we saw Collins' strong arm. Even though Wentz stole that base, that was an outstanding throw. Wentz actually stole the base on the pitcher.
Right.
2-1.
Hoffman having a little more success in the early going, getting that outside strike.
Popped into right field. Coming on, it's Lay. And he'll take it to end things here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, one man left on base. We're through 2. Cherry Hill on top. 2-0. Welcome back to Union Field in West Deptford, New Jersey. Top 3, Cherry Hill on top, 2-0. Cherry Hill stringing together base hits, 3 namely, in that second inning to push across a pair of runs. And we start things in the third with Kelmer, Collins, and Hoffman, the heart of this Cherry Hill lineup, 4, 5, and 6.
Kelmer hitting .364, as we mentioned, with the 9 RBIs, second on the team this summer.
Swetansky has thrown a lot of pitches here early.
That time, Kelmer tried to pull that outside fastball. Tough to do.
2 balls and a strike. Skied to right field. McGuckin with room. It's drifting towards the foul line, and he will catch that in foul territory. 1 out here in the third for Collins, his strikeout victim in that first.
Rob, it shows the cozy dimensions of this field, because that looked like a routine pop-up, and it went pretty close to the warning track.
Unofficially, through 2 innings, Swetansky had 49 pitches, so complete game from Swetansky unlikely here, unless he starts to breeze through this Cherry Hill lineup.
Well, especially since he's still stretching his arm out.
Flied into deep center field. Reyes going back and makes a great catch to rob Collins of extra bases. Fine play from Reyes.
I think he banged his head there. Rob, I thought he turned the wrong way to begin to run back on that ball, but he obviously recovered. Watch as you see him in center field. He almost turns all the way around. You don't want your outfielders doing that, but he picked it up, and then he did.
May have taken away a home run there from Collins. You see the mobility and agility of Reyes, and a ball hit into right center field is going to tail towards the right fielder there, not to mention the fact that the wind is blowing in that direction.
I just think that was an outstanding recovery by him, because I don't think he picked it up right off the bat, and then he was able to make the adjustment there.
I think that shows you some of the speed of Reyes, and that'll be on his highlight reel. Nowadays, players have highlight reels. 2-2. Mitchell on deck. Hoffman flew out in his first plate appearance. And Ponto to throw down to first base. So Hoffman commits on the ball in the dirt, and that will end things for Cherry Hill in the third inning. 3 up and 3 down. Through 2.5, Cherry Hill still on top 2-0. West Deptford will come to the plate. Kenish and then the top.
4 strikeouts now for Swiatanski. As you mentioned, very important that he had a 1-2-3 inning that time to kind of limit his pitches. He's obviously going to be a big key to this West Deptford team, and as a crowd enjoying this game. Here's again a look at that great play by Reyes at center field. He almost does an entire 360 turning around there. Picks it up right there. He knows he's near the fence. Did you see with his right hand, Rob? He was actually putting it out to see how far the fence was, and then makes the grab.
See some of the crowd on hand tonight. Great night for baseball. Bottom 3.
As we mentioned, Swiatanski's going to be a big key to this team pitching-wise, and so's Coppage, the young man from Pensgrove we talked about, who's playing the Talferro Classic. Coppage already 2-0 on the season, and John Coppage is a guy that had very good grades in high school. He still has not picked the college, though. He wants to play baseball, we're told, but who knows? He may turn some heads at the Talferro Football Classic, too.
An opportunity to see him a couple of years ago here on Comcast. Very impressive in a football uniform. We head to the bottom of the third inning. 9-1-2 Kenish, Reyes, and Wentz.
Kenish goes to Gloucester County Institute of Technology, a school that has really beefed up its sports programs.
Kenish flies out to the left fielder. Sabazco, one down here, and Hoffman starting to find his rhythm. West Deptford still looking for their first base hit. Reyes struck out looking in the first.
Reyes now batting .318 with that first inning strikeout. Third baseman Del Monte, obviously with the speed of Reyes, always has to be wary about a bunt.
Three and 0. So Reyes will likely look at one with Wentz on deck. Wentz drew a walk in that first inning, went on to steal a base. And Hoffman misses low, so 4 straight balls, and Reyes on base. Good speed for Wentz,
Of course,
the left fielder.
We know that Collins has a gun as a catcher, so last time Wentz stole that base on Hoffman, who took a while to get at the home plate. Reyes has a pretty good lead over there at first.
First pitch strike.
Wow, Reyes is really getting out far. I think he wants to get a look at his move.
grounded. Speckman flip for one. Mitchell over to first, not in time. And Kilmer unable to hold on to the baseball.
Hits an off-speed pitch that time. Just gets a little bit on it. Speckman made a pretty good turn that time, but Mitchell had a high throw, and I thought he had trouble also getting it out of his glove a little bit. And with the way Wentz runs, it would have been tough to double him.
Haynes struck out in his first plate appearance. Wentz stole a base in that first inning. We'll keep an eye on Wentz.
Keep in mind, Haynes could tie it up with one swing of the bat with his power.
And Hoffman very aware of that, keeping it away from Haynes. 1-1.
Keep saying that Hoffman's had a lot more success on that outside of the corner than he has coming in on the batters, although it hasn't stopped him. He hasn't been afraid to pitch it inside.
Pitch misses up. It's 2-1.
Good job by
Checks his
Collins.
swing. 3-1 now to Haynes.
Haynes is batting .560 even after that first inning strikeout.
Count goes full, so Wentz will take off here with 2 outs.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Haynes was expecting something on the outside part of the plate, and that time Hoffman did come inside, threw it for a strike.
Now a little surprise first baseman holding the runner on here and just leaving that hole open for Haynes, but Haynes will swing through, and he'll strike out for the second time. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. We're through 3 innings here at Union Field. Cherry Hill on top 2-0. Welcome back to West Deptford. Union Field, top 4. Cherry Hill on top of West Deptford, 2-0. American Legion Baseball. West Deptford still looking for their first hit tonight. Cherry Hill bunched their 3 singles in that second inning, and they scored both of their runs. Stepping in the top of the 4th, Mitchell, the shortstop, he struck out looking against Swetansky. Fly ball to right field, and McGuckin with plenty of room. And now Swetansky working efficiently.
Rob, there have been a number of flyouts to right field to McGuckin, and that shows that a lot of these right-handed batters are not getting around well on that fastball by Swetansky.
Greg Sapazko, 0 for 1, 8-hole hitter. Two and 0 now. Healthy cut, 2-1.
Another Cherry Hill West player, and he's headed to Camden County College. Tell you, we talked about the New Jersey Athletic Conference, but the community college baseball, of course, Gloucester County is a perennial power, perennial national power.
Camden County has really improved of late.
Mm-hmm.
Line drive into left center field. This will find a gap. And Sapazko cruise into second base with a stand-up double.
Here's another look at it right there, and hung that ball a little high, and I'll tell you what, to get a ball between Wentz and Reyes with all the speed in that outfield, you have to do something right.
Del Monte, who singled in that second inning, he started things. That second inning was all 2-out hits. And Reyes, no tag there, and you see the strong arm of Reyes as Sabasco did well to pull up. So 2 outs here for Cox. Cox singled and scored in that second inning.
Well, Cox is batting .571, so you have to be pretty careful with him.
We mentioned Cox, just a pitcher now. You know, I saw Cox quite a bit facing him at the high school level. And I was very impressed. Fine outfielder, but they're only using him as a pitcher now. At Rowan University, they had a guy who was a pretty good center fielder for a while in high school named Josh Schwartz, and they only used him as a pitcher, but things worked out all right for him. Of course, he went on to set an NCAA record for most consecutive wins.
Of course, drafted by the Cardinals, right?
That's correct.
Gateway product.
1 ball and 1 strike. Swung on and missed. A healthy swing there. On deck, Speckman. Mentioned County College's Schwartz, now a coach at Gloucester County College, a pitching coach over there. Of course, Barry Davis really started that program, took it to new heights, and he's now done a fine job over at Rider University.
With a stop in between, right, at Georgia State. Tell you what, no one works harder at recruiting than Barry.
Grounded to second base, and Renaro will throw over to end things. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th with Cherry Hill on top, 2-0.
By the way, Rob, I saw Fran Carr earlier tonight. He's the chairman, a longtime chairman of the Camden County American Legion League, and it's people like that have done such a tremendous job that volunteer their time that, as we mentioned, make this one of the premier leagues in the country. It's interesting. You had talked about, and you're right, about how, you know, the proliferation of AAU and everything like that. But I don't think there's any question that this is still the top level for high school age students to play summer baseball, American Legion, and especially this league, the Camden County League.
West Deptford, coming into the bottom of the 4th inning, will have their 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Ponto, McGuckin, and Hogate. West Deptford, again, still looking for their first hit against Andrew Hoffman, who will go on to a junior college in Alabama in the town of Muscle Shoals. Now, Muscle Shoals, of course, came to fame in a classic rock and roll song, and I quizzed you on that earlier,
right,
Mark. I'll throw that out to our director, Stan Ritter. And Stan, being a rock and roll aficionado, quickly came up with Sweet Home Alabama by, of course, one of your favorite bands, Mark, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
By the way, speaking of Andrew Hoffman, the pitcher, you know, he's a great bowler, and he bowled a 300 game this year. He bowled for Cherry Hill West. I said, wow, that must be like pitching a perfect game in baseball. He says, no comparison. He says there's so much pressure to do a 300 game in bowling. He said it's an unbelievable feeling.
It's funny that he says that it'd be tougher to bowl a 300 game. I gotta believe, you know, I would beg to differ, not that I'm a great bowler, but far more people have bowled 300 games. Not to mention the fact, I think the most difficult thing, Mark, is that you could throw a great game and you still need help from 8 other guys.
Well, what he said was, though, you make one little mistake even in the beginning, and you don't get that perfect game in bowling. He just said it seems to be more pressure for that. And
I can only imagine, you know, you go into that 10th frame and all strikes, and now you've got to go 3 in a row. And I'm sure the pressure just mounts.
it's interesting too because a pitcher who bowls, obviously you have the underhand motion as a bowler. I wonder as a coach if you like to see your pitchers bowling. Well, with the stress.
You know, it's kind of funny because there's all different theories. Line down the left field line, and that'll be a base hit. Ponto quickly into second base and slides underneath the tag. Ponto, the first hit for West Deptford, a double.
I guess we'll rule that a hit. Sabasco that time didn't look like he got a good jump on the ball and stumbled a little bit there, Rob. I thought if he had a better jump, he makes the catch. But
well, that's a tough play, I tell you, with a lot of topspin on that ball. That ball quickly ducking down, and Ponto really hit it on the screws. Fouled away.
By the way, that was Ponto's first double of the season.
It won't be his last. He's a quality hitter. Speaking of quality hitters, Dan McGuckin steps in. Grounded out to shortstop in his first plate appearance. West Deptford trails by 2. That's their first hit of the evening, and now all of a sudden, tying run steps in at the plate. Switansky has done well, despite some early trouble, to keep West Deptford in this baseball game. McGuckin, a nice bunt down third base. Sabasco comes up throwing and not in time. And Kelmer looks like he's hurt at first base.
Well, Kelmer is holding his shoulder right now, and he made a great stretch that time. It's interesting because McGuckin did not get out of the batter's box very quickly, and Del Monte got rid of it quickly, and he's holding his left shoulder, and oh boy. We'll see if he stays in the game. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. He looks like he's staying in, Rob.
On that stretch, the arm came down and maybe, just found himself in an awkward position. Says he's okay. And all of a sudden, West Deptford threatening here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runners on the corners with nobody out. And Hogate, your designated hitter, will step in.
Tell you what, as I said, it was a close play. McGuckin did not get out of the batter's box very quickly, and Del Monte released it and threw it about as quick as you could expect a third baseman to. Hogate batting .294 this summer. Del Monte's playing up at third base as if he expects a bunt, and there it is.
So they fake the squeeze and steal second base. Tying run at second base in McGuckin. Hogate with a 1-0 count. And Cherry Hill West will play it back. Hoffman behind 2-0.
I think number 6 batter with the bottom of the order coming up, I think you have to take one here. Now I think you might have to take 2.
To the designated hitter Hogate, who takes Terry Hogate.
I just wonder if he has a take sign here to. Sometimes you can help a pitcher struggling in an inning by swinging at a ball out of the strike zone. Let's see. No, he wasn't looking. He wasn't taking there.
Count goes full. Ponto at third base, who doubled. McGuckin, a bunt single. And Hogate swings through. That may have been ball 4.
No question about it. He had a fastball swing that time, and Hoffman threw him an off-speed pitch. Looked a little high out of the strike zone, and again, Hogate had a fastball swing. That pretty gutty pitch on a 3-2 pitch by Hoffman.
Of course, Hoffman had the luxury of having first base open. Took advantage of that, and now, again, Renaro has to be aware of that. He walked in his first plate appearance. We'll see if the squeeze is in play at any point here.
Well, with a 200 hitter at the plate, you're right, Rob. It's something that.
I don't know, to Renaro. Two and 0. Again, Hoffman falls behind 3-0. He did so to Hogate and did a great job battling back, but continues to find himself in some difficulty. Again, you have to think Renaro with the take sign here.
Now remember how Hogate helped him a little bit by swinging at a ball out of the strike zone, so obviously Renaro has to be aware of that.
Swung on, and a humpback liner into left field. Bobbled by the left fielder Sabasco, but holding is McGuckin. And a big base hit by Renaro, knocking in the first run for West Deptford.
Third RBI of the season for Renaro, and he kind of fisted that, Rob. He fought off a pretty good pitch.
That's an aluminum bat base hit right there.
Yeah, it looked like he was jammed and did a good job fighting it off.
And Hoffman, who had cruised through the first 3, not yielding any hits, finds himself in trouble, giving up 3 hits in this 4th inning. Runners on the corners. They're going to probably try to settle Hoffman down and talk about their first and third defense.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, I think that Renaro will go down there, and I think they're going to say, do we throw through it? Do we cut off the throw and try to look for the runner coming home? What's your thought as a coach in a situation like this?
Well, you know, it's not an easy question, frankly. A lot of it is instinct. It's based on whether or not you have an aggressive runner at third base, whether he's a fast runner, whether or not you feel confident in your defense to execute it, whether you feel confident in your catcher to execute it, and whether or not you feel confident in your offense, because if you let it go through and tie the game and your pitcher, will you be able to overcome that? So a lot goes into that.
And the other thing is you have the 8 and 9 batters coming up now too, so you may not want to take a chance. We'll see if. I'd be very surprised if Renaro doesn't go in the next pitch or two.
You know, of course, you have a fine catcher in Collins. And that's going to play a role in your strategy as Collins coach, as the Cherry Hill coach, and also as the West Deptford coach.
you were ever going to put a squeeze on, this is the time. It didn't look like he was doing.
Collins throws down, and the ball is dropped by Speckman. Holding at third base was McGuckin. I think they would have had him there had Speckman held on. So second and third now, and Birdsall with a 2-1 count.
The other thing is, Rob, I think if McGuckin would have gone on that play, would have made it home. Interesting. Now the infield playing up, trying to cut this potential run off.
Count evens at 2. On deck it's Kenish. Curveball misses low and away. Full count here. And again, this is a case, Mark, where Hoffman has to make a decision whether he wants to give in or not.
See, I would go after him, Rob, because you have the number 9 batter on deck. You don't want to turn the lineup over to Reyes leading off. I would go after him very strongly here.
Fastball misses low and away.
It's a good job by Birdsall working that walk. By the way, Rob, that is now the 4th walk, and we had talked about that's kind of been the downfall for Hoffman this summer so far.
Kenish will step in. He flew out to left field. Sabasco playing relatively deep against Kenish. First pitch. Hoffman ahead, 0-1. Reyes on deck. He struck out and walked.
This is just Kenish's 9th at bat this summer. 3 for 8 at this point.
Gamesmanship here. I don't know if you caught the highlights the other day of the ambidextrous pitcher against the switch hitter. Did you catch that?
I did not see that.
Curveball misses 1-1. Well, the pitcher, of course, would throw lefty or righty depending upon what the hitter would bat. And the hitter, of course, as a switch hitter, would hit depending upon how the pitcher would throw. Kenish swings and misses. So he stepped in, I believe, as a right-hander, and then pitcher went to his right side. He stepped out of the box, went over to the left side. Pitcher switched the glove, started throwing. He was going to go left-handed. It went back and forth literally 5 or 6 times before the umpires stopped it to try to figure out what the rule was. And, of course, the rule is the pitcher has final say. It ended up righty-righty, and he struck out. That happened in the New York Penn League. I believe it was the Yankees affiliate.
I'll tell you what, Collins has just done a great job behind home plate. Really moves his feet well, Rob. And some catchers maybe a little lazy. Don't do that. Try to stab at the ball. He really gets his body there, moves his feet. Very, very good fundamentals behind the plate.
2-2. Swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. And Hoffman with a big strikeout there will face Reyes with McGuckin still at third base. McGuckin had a couple opportunities to score. Of course, the ball hit into left field, and third base coach very conservative there. Of course, then the left fielder went on to bobble it. No way that the third base coach could know that. And then also on the steal, an opportunity as no one cut it. But McGuckin, again, very conservative there. And now Hoffman with an opportunity to work his way out of trouble. Reyes has struck out and walked. Bases loaded. Pivotal at bat. This could really blow the game open for West Deptford. Reyes takes, it's now 0-2.
Well, again, Hoffman has not been consistent with that curveball. That was an outstanding one that time, though. Now you figure he's going to try to blow it by him going inside. Yep.
1-2, Wentz on deck. Nobody warming in the Cherry Hill pen. Pitching out of the windup.
That first inning strikeout was only the third this season Reyes has had. He makes a lot of contact. He'll shorten up being down 1-2 in the count here on his swing.
The 1-2 curveball misses. Collins looks for possible pick play. Nothing doing as Birdsall gets back. It's now 2-2 to Luis Reyes.
What's
center
interesting,
fielder.
Rob, if you look at Reyes, he does not choke up. For a leadoff batter, that you don't see that much.
Grounded up the middle, and Mitchell will throw down to first base just in time to get Reyes to end the threat. A big out, recorded 6-3. Well, West Deptford with 3 hits and just 1 run in that 4th inning. We're through 4. Cherry Hill holds a 1-run edge. Welcome back to Union Field in West Deptford. American Legion Baseball, Cherry Hill on top of West Deptford as we start the 5th inning. Cherry Hill leads 2-1. And for Cherry Hill, it'll be Speckman, Lee, and Kelmer, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Speckman has walked and singled. Speckman with an RBI in that 2nd inning. Line to left field, coming on, and that'll drop in for a fair ball. Tough time picking that up. Just tucked inside the left field line, and Speckman on base once again.
It's interesting because Tim Wentz in left field, Rob, didn't even react to it. As you said, they've turned the lights on here now. He just wasn't able to pick that ball up. You know, as the twilight's starting to come in, it must be pretty tough for those outfielders.
Squares the bunt, takes for a ball, 1-0.
I can't believe he's really bunting here. You can't have a guy that's hitting like Lay 458 with 17 RBIs. I just don't see you bunting him.
Flied out towards Wentz. Wentz will come in on the ball, and Lay is retired.
Well, again, Rob, as I said, as they've turned these lights on, it must be hard because Wentz did a nice job staying on that ball that time, but I'm just wondering how difficult it is to initially pick up those fly balls.
Kelmer will step in. It's a good sign. He's swinging the baseball bat. Of course, tweaked his left shoulder last inning defensively. He was walked and flown out to McGuckin in right field. And you mentioned this before, Swetansky kind of sneaky fast out there, as a lot of batters having a tough time getting around on it. He's done a nice job. A little bit of a rocky start, walking 3 guys in the 1st inning, but found his way out of trouble. Cherry Hill bunched 3 hits in the 2nd inning, scoring a pair of runs, and since then it's been clean. Again, Kelmer, right side, McGuckin, a long run, and that is a foul ball.
There was a groan there, but that looked like the right call.
One to Kelmer. Speckman at first base. Fastball. And Swetansky quickly ahead, 0-2.
You know, the other reason why you're seeing some balls to right field as well is some of the guys, even though we said they're not getting around of it, they may be going with the pitch because, as you see that fouled off, Swetansky, just as Hoffman's doing, has had more success with that outside strike.
Beckman moving. And Kelmer spoiled that 0-2 curveball.
By the way, Cherry Hill has just 2 stolen bases all year coming into tonight.
Kelmer drives it deep to center field. Reyes back. And it's gone. Reyes stole one earlier, but not this time, as Kelmer powers it to straight center field. Cherry Hill extends their lead. They're on top now, 4-1.
I guess, as you said, Rob, his shoulder's okay. By the way, that's his 3rd home run already this summer.
Collins will step in. And he drives one deep to center field. Reyes towards the warning track, and this will hold. And Reyes underneath it. Collins with his 2nd consecutive flyout to Reyes in center field with 2 down. Hoffman will step in. He is 0 for 2. He has flown out to Reyes and struck out. Reyes has been very busy today.
Well, there's no question in this inning you had a base hit to left field, a fly out to left field, a home run, and a fly out to deep center that the Cherry Hill batters are certainly catching up to Swintasky now this inning.
Nicely kept scorecard there.
That can't be mine.
Good penmanship.
Drive.
1-1 here to Hoffman. Big curveball misses upstairs. It's 2-1. Beat foul. Hoffman. It's not a small team, this Cherry Hill lineup. The 2-2. Tails away. It's now full.
3-2.
We've seen a lot of full counts on both teams tonight here.
Some good baseball nonetheless. No errors for either team tonight. Swung on and missed, and Swintasky records the strikeout, the 2nd by Hoffman. But not before Cherry Hill scores a pair of runs via a 2-run blast from Kelmer. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cherry Hill on top, 4-1. Now, Mark, I was watching baseball tonight a couple of weeks ago. And I'll get to that story in just a moment. First, let's step away. We head to break. Cherry Hill on top, 4-1 here at Union Field. Welcome back to beautiful Union Field. Great view of the Philadelphia skyline here from West Deptford. Cherry Hill on top, 4-1 as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Wentz, Haynes, and Ponto, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Got a good look at that first pitch from Hoffman to Wentz as Wentz swung through. Wentz in his 3rd plate appearance here. He has walked, hit into a fielder's choice, and stolen a base.
You know, Rob, we mentioned this was Hoffman's first year playing varsity baseball at Cherry Hill West. I mean, he has a kind of stuff out there that, you know, on a number of teams in South Jersey, he'd be the number 1 or number 2 pitcher.
He definitely would have been my number 1. He's an impressive kid. His size, good arm action. Ground ball up the middle. Mitchell throws over to first and retires Wentz.
I mean, sometimes you just need that opportunity. I mean, you've seen it before where a lot of people maybe didn't have spectacular high school careers, go on to a college where they could play a little bit and develop, become players, become even drafted.
And that's no slight against, you know, anybody who played in high school and didn't do well, or a coaching staff or whatever. People progress at different levels. We see this all the time. Haynes takes. Haynes has struck out twice tonight against big Andrew Hoffman.
Batting .428 now, even after those 2 strikeouts. Last time he struck out on that outside fastball that, again, as we mentioned, Hoffman's had a lot of success in that outside part of the plate.
Pulls the string. It's now 2-1.
We mentioned he's going to junior college in Alabama. Not many Jersey players migrate to Alabama for any sport, really. Remember Scott Lavender of Gloucester Catholic who went to Alabama? And not too many, though. You don't hear it a whole lot.
Just going south in general, baseball-wise, is quite an accomplishment for any South Jersey player. Of course, Baroa from Pennsauken went JUCO down in Florida and ended up getting drafted once again this year.
Yeah, how about him? He got drafted out of high school, drafted out of junior college.
And Haynes has struck out 3 times tonight against Hoffman. Hoffman really changing speeds well against Haynes, and that's how you have to face someone as good as Haynes.
Actually, this is a kind of pitch that Haynes is used to crushing. I mean, that's a fastball right down the middle. He had struck out on the outside part of the plate before that.
And Ponto delivers a base hit. Did not see. There's
some fans who were complaining about whether that was fair or not. It looked like a good call.
It's tough because the third base bag is covered in dirt, so it's difficult to get a look from up here. But Ponto on with his 2nd hit of the night, and McGuckin will step in. McGuckin reached base on a bunt single back in the 4th. Fouls it away.
Again, on that swing, he tried to pull that outside fastball, and Hoffman, who, like his counterpart, Swiatanski, still stretching his arm out this summer, but still showing pretty good velocity here. Wow, another great block by Collins back there. He really takes command.
Four 6-0 for Cherry Hill, 1-4-0 for West Deptford. McGuckin now behind 1-2.
See, now that he's ahead in the count, and again, even though he hasn't had a lot of success coming in on the batters, I would expect him to do that right here. McGuckin leaning out for that outside pitch.
Count holds at 1-2.
People always talk about changing speeds, but it's probably one of the toughest things to do as a pitcher.
Again, fouled away by McGuckin. Changing speeds is something that can be done not only in terms of your pitch selection, but also in terms of your fastball, be it via the grip or by your arm action. The 1-2 in the dirt. Snap throw down to first base. And that gets through. Now this throw will get away. We talked about it being relatively clean, and that's the first error, as Collins will be charged with the throwing error. Snap throw down to Kelmer ends up in right field, and a courtesy runner gets over to second base. That, of course, is Bill Riley. Two balls and two strikes with two outs.
I think Kelmer that time, he literally was sitting when that throw. He was trying to keep his leg on the bag. It's a situation where maybe he should have just tried to get off the bag. It doesn't matter now. It's a called third strike.
So McGuckin takes a called third strike to end the threat. We're through 5. Cherry Hill on top, 4-1. Welcome back to Union Field in West Deptford, New Jersey. Rob Christ along with Marc Narducci bringing you American Legion baseball action. Beautiful night for baseball. Lights are on. Sun setting here in West Deptford, as is the game, as we're to the top of the 6th inning. Cherry Hill with a 3-run edge, 4-1. For Cherry Hill, it will be 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Mitchell, Sabazco, and Del Monte. Mitchell quickly behind 1 and 2 to Swetansky. Swetansky has done a nice job working his way out of trouble since the first inning. The big hit, a Kelmer 2-run blast last inning to straight center field. 2-2.
Of course, West Deptford, to say in the Camden County American Legion, a lot of times teams will get to the regional tournament. Usually the top 2 teams in the state, Rob, the winner will go to one region, the runner-up goes to another, and you see the strikeout there. West Deptford, we mentioned about going to the World Series in 2003, but also went to the regionals in 2006 in Brockton, Massachusetts, and went 2-2 in that region. Just shows how tough it is to get to the World Series. There are over 5,000 teams, and only 8 of them get to the National World Series.
6 strikeouts now for Swetansky. Misses with the curveball. Sabazco will step in. He is grounded out to third base, and he has doubled.
Of course, you had mentioned about Brooklawn earlier, Rob. Brooklawn, of course, winning 2 national championships in '91 and 2001.
Grounded sharply up the middle and unable to handle his birdsong. See how that is scored.
Would have had a tough throw anyway, but I think it's a ball Birdsall usually gets to. I would call it an error.
And that is how it is scored. So each team with an error now. Ball grounded over the head of Kenish. On his way to third base is Sabazco. Strong throw, but not in time. And moving up on the throw is Del Monte. High chopping single. Kenish made an excellent attempt to come down with it, but just too high over his head. And now Swetansky will have to work out of trouble. And the bullpen stirs for West Deptford.
And actually, Tim Wentz in left field made a pretty good play as well there. But Rob, the bottom of the order really doing its job. The 8 and 9 hitters, Sabazco and Del Monte.
And Mike Cox steps in. 2-0.
How about Del Monte? Number 9 batter, now batting .500. He's 11 for 22 this summer.
Driven deep right field. McGuckin will have room, makes the catch, tagging both the runners on second and third base, and scoring easily will be Sabasco. That'll be an unearned run. Credit Cox with the sacrifice fly. And Del Monte will move up to third base, so should Del Monte score, all runs would be unearned.
Cox's 10th RBI of the season. The way that jumped off the bat, it looked like it was going a little further than it initially went. Ball held up there that time.
Speckman has been busy. He has walked, singled, and knocked in a run, singled and scored. So 2 for 2 officially for the second baseman.
How about the bottom of the order, though? Sabasco, 1 for 3, but he's been on base twice. Also on the error, has a double. And as we mentioned, Del Monte, 2 for 3 in the number 9 hole.
West Deptford does have someone up in the pen. This may be the last inning for Swetansky. Grounded towards second base. High hop. Strong throw in time to get Speckman.
That's a great job by Raniero that time.
So Cherry Hill pushes across another run and extends their lead now to 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Hoffman will come out once again. He's done a nice job. Now getting back to the story previously, Mark, on baseball tonight, Buck Showalter, who of course coached the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, had an opportunity to listen to him. And here's the last out you see from
Raniero showing a lot of range, and then he has to put something on this throw, and he planted his feet, Rob. I think that was the important thing, the footwork that he showed that time, and then got everything into it.
So anyway, that evening there was a triple play that was turned. He was talking about a triple play that he was a part of as the manager. He was managing, I believe, the Astros affiliate, his first managing job down in Single A. Now, Mark, it was a triple play, and nobody put a glove on the ball.
Triple play that no one put a glove on the ball. Tell me.
Runners on first and second base, and he has a double steal on. Pop-up is hit, infield fly roll. 1 out. The runner on first base continues to run. The runner on second base holds and comes back. He passes that runner, so that's the 2nd out. The ball comes down and hits the runner who was on second base. Triple play.
Wow.
He said after that he never did a double steal again with nobody out. He also mentioned that it was not coincidental that none of those players ever made it to the big leagues. Hoffman misses high, 1-0.
What's a runner running on an infield fly?
Well, it was a double steal.
Oh, they were, okay.
One ball, one strike here. It'll be Hogate, Renaro, and Birdsall.
What's the old saying, never make the first or third out at third base?
Or all three?
Yeah, they didn't expect all three, though.
The 1-2. Hogate continues the battle. He has grounded out and struck out.
I think you have to, at this point in the 6th inning, watch the stamina of both these pitchers who, as we mentioned, are still stretching things out for the summer. They're both obviously getting a good workout tonight.
Ground ball down to third base, and that gets right through Del Monte. That will likely be scored an error as well.
Again, a tough play, but you have to expect them to make it at this level.
Well, that's a case where Del Monte opted to go to his backhand. I think he had time to get in front of that baseball. And there you see Del Monte. He knows that he probably should have had that. He's a fine baseball player. And stepping in is Renaro. Curveball misses low.
I just wonder if West Deptford, as we get a look at it again here, you mentioned about the footwork. Just didn't get over there in time, Rob. As you mentioned with the backhand, trying to backhand, it's a tough play to do. The backhand and make the throw.
I'm not trying to make excuses for Del Monte, but you know, sometimes it's tough to pick up the ball off the bat at this hour. Laced into left field, Renaro with a base hit.
Again, he had an off-speed pitch that was high up in the strike zone, and you just wonder about the fatigue factor with Hoffman, especially, Bob, when you let a pitch go that high up in the strike zone.
And that'll do it for Hoffman. He will leave. He's done a nice job, and he can only win this baseball game. He'll go to the bullpen.
Dan Hill coming in. Hill's third appearance, Rob. He's 1-0 on the season. He's pitched 5 2/3 innings. Has allowed 5 hits, 6 runs, all in one appearance. That was against Mount Laurel. 7 walks and 5 strikeouts.
So West Deptford trying to mount a rally here in the bottom of the 6th. They trail by 4, but have runners on first and second. Hogate reached on an error, and Renaro laced a single to chase Hoffman, who will have pitched officially 5+ innings.
And Hill is entering his senior year at Cherry Hill West. How would you like being a pitching coach at that school?
Well, the pitching coach is pretty good. Gary Sarno.
Yeah.
I actually played with him 20 years ago, which shows you how long.
Didn't Gary play at the University of Miami?
I don't know, but I do know that he was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers and played in the Dodgers system. Cherry Hill West had a fine year this year. Cherry Hill East did as well, so not a surprise that this Cherry Hill Legion program has been successful.
Of course, we've talked about Brooklyn. One team we have not mentioned is Haddon Heights, but Mike DeCastro has a perennial contender in this Camden County Legion League, and Heights has started out by winning 11 of its first 13 games. Going to be very, very tough once again.
Birdsall squares and takes 0-1.
Not sure he was really bunting that time. I think he was taking a pitch there. I cannot believe they'd have a bunt on here in this situation. Down by 4 runs. Huh?
Yeah, Collins throws over to third base to get the lead runner. And there you see the arm of Collins. So score that 2-5, and that erases Hogate.
I'm really surprised you see them bunting here, Rob. I mean, you know, you're down by 4, you're going to give up an out like that.
I can't argue with you, Mark.
I mean, Birdsall runs well. I could see him maybe trying to lay one down to try to get a base hit, but that was certainly a sacrifice situation.
So Hill thankful to record that first out. Birdsall gave himself up, and now Kenish, excuse me, who has flown out and struck out. Ground ball over to the right side, and Kelmer will watch it roll foul.
Rob, if you're the first baseman, Kelmer, would you come and try to charge that, keep it fair, and then try to make the tag on him?
Well, again, that's a play that you have to read. If you have time to field it and still the ability to tag him, absolutely. But if it's going to be close, then you're best to allow it to roll foul, which is what Kelmer did.
I think he hesitated a little bit, and you're right, and then that took any chance of that happening, but
popped into shallow left field, and back is the shortstop, Mitchell, who records the second out.
good job by Mitchell, because he initially looked like he got his feet crossed up, Rob, and almost fell. He tripped a little bit, but stayed with it and made the catch.
Reyes will step in. He has struck out, walked, and grounded out. Takes a strike. He came up in a critical spot in that fourth inning with the bases loaded, an opportunity to maybe blow this game open for West Deptford, and grounded out to the shortstop, Mitchell, to end that rally. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. Hill quickly ahead.
Looked like a changeup that time. Reyes looking fastball and swinging fastball all the way. Now I got him to chase that outside pitch. Let's see what Hill does this time.
And the high fastball. Reyes chases, and another rally thwarted by the Cherry Hill pitching staff. We're through 6 innings of play here at Union Field. American Legion Baseball, Cherry Hill leads 5-1 over West Deptford. Welcome back to Union Field. West Deptford with a new pitcher on the hill. And that is actually not John Coppage, from what I understand. That is Justin Brandon, who's wearing John Coppage's number, actually. First pitch misses. Will face the heart of the Cherry Hill order. Austin Lee, Kelmer, and Collins. They 0 for 2 with a walk. He's also struck out and flown out. Oh. 2-0. Wasted. 2-1.
By the way, Brandon's had a pretty good summer here. 2.52 ERA and 8 1/3 innings, Rob. Seven walks and 5 strikeouts.
Line to left field. Wentz fights the lights, but comes up with it. 1 down. Kelmer steps in. Of course, he had the big hit of the night, a 2-run homer to straight center field. He has also walked and flown out.
How about Lay, who had such a great freshman year at Arcadia College? Came in, as we mentioned, with the 17 RBIs. They've held him pretty much in check. 1 walk and 0 for 3. Other people have picked up this Cherry Hill team tonight, including this gentleman.
One 1-0 to Kelmer. 2-0. Played third base over at Salem Community College, which was tried to recruit heavily in this area. Former Woodbury player, the head coach there. Taken for a strike. Ball 4 to Kilmer. Collins will step in. He has struck out and flown out to Reyes twice.
Rob, is that the first walk since the 3 in the first inning for Cherry Hill?
Let's take a look.
Unless I wrote something down wrong.
That is correct.
Wow.
Well, we mentioned that you really hit the nail on the head, Mark. You said Cherry Hill needed to take advantage in that first inning because Swetansky would likely find his rhythm at some point, and he quickly did. Despite that, Cherry Hill enjoying a 5-1 lead. Line drive up the middle, and that is caught. Collins, a humpback liner to Renaro for the second out, and Hoffman will step in, but actually be Hill. Hoffman was replaced by Hill.
By the way, Hill's 2 for 4 in the season, so he's...
Looks like he can hit a baseball. Left center field, Reyes on the warning track. Hill gives it a ride, but Reyes keeps it in the ballpark. And we head to the bottom of the 7th inning with Cherry Hill on top 5-1. Reyes with 5 putouts tonight in center field. A lot of fly balls given up by this West Deptford pitching staff, and now Hill will come on and try to hold that 4-run edge.
1, 2, 3.
Wentz, Haynes, and Ponto, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, step in for West Deptford.
Well, at least if you're West Deptford, you have the heart of your lineup coming up.
Hill, another one that likes to work off the opposite side of the rubber. Saw Justin Brandon working out of the middle of the rubber. Kind of interesting delivery as he actually lost touch completely with the rubber and then worked off the right side. You see the sunset in West Deptford. We're well beyond the sunset, but
And Cherry Hill, obviously, after a tough start, it entered tonight having won 4 of its last 5 games, so looking to make a run. As we mentioned, 6 teams from this Camden County American Legion division will get automatic or get bids to the state tournament. What they normally do, Rob, is they take the first team, the number of teams that get automatic bids -1. So in this instance, they would have the top 5 probably get automatics, and then teams 6 through 9 have an elimination to get that 6th team. And I'll tell you what, in a 13-team league, that keeps a lot of teams
absolutely
in the race.
I would want to hear to Wentz. Wentz has been busy in left field tonight. At the plate, he has walked and stolen a base, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded out to the shortstop.
As we mentioned, he's just going to be a junior at West Deptford, and this kind of experience is invaluable. And you know, he came into tonight with just 4 at-bats, and this is his 4th appearance. He's had 2 officials, and as you mentioned, a walk.
The 1-2. Foul away.
I'll be honest, Rob. Regardless of the outcome of this game, I'd be very surprised. We said West Deptford will have the automatic bid into the state tournament. Be very surprised if Cherry Hill isn't one of the other 5s. As difficult as this league is, but it's really going to make it interesting. I mean, regardless of what happens, there are going to be some good teams that don't qualify for the playoffs.
2-2. Grounded towards second base. Speckman throws over to first. 1 out here in the 7th.
One of the teams in the Legion that's gotten off to a really good start's been Williamstown. 7 wins in the first 11 games for Williamstown. 7-3-1 record.
Down and into Haynes. Haynes has had a tough night. He has struck out in 3 plate appearances, all swinging. Baseball's a funny game. It's very humbling, Mark. And here you have a kid in Haynes who I don't think anybody questioned his ability as a hitter. And right now he's got to be scratching his head.
And the thing is, Rob, the last couple times up, he's a fastball hitter. They've struck him out on fastballs.
You know, you're just watching Chase Utley go through that stretch where he was 0 for 25. He said, you know, baseball's a game of failure. It's just about how you approach it. It's, you know, why Utley's such a fine player. It's the attitude that you bring to the plate and the confidence that you bring despite your struggles. Count goes full to Haynes.
I'll tell you, if ever a time to throw him an off-speed pitch, it's right now, because he's going to rear back at 3-2. Well,
4th strikeout for Haynes, and again, this is when you struggle because you press so much that you feel like you got to get up there and get out of it. And look at the pitch that Haynes chases, ball 4 here.
high fastball. He wasn't thinking off-speed pitch that time.
Haynes will be back.
It's early in the season, Rob. He entered the night with a .583 average, and he just lost 83 points off his batting average. He's now 500. It's still 500. I think a lot of people would take that.
Well, you know, when you hit over 500, you go 2 for 4, and your average goes down. I mean, you know, it's tough. Pato is 2 for 3 on the night. He has doubled and scored, and he has singled in addition to flying out in the first inning. And Hill has been effective, coming in a bit of a jam in that 6th inning. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Ponto fouls it away, and West Deptford down to their last strike.
Tell you what, we haven't heard a lot of Hill on the high school level. I think we might next year. I mean,
Swung on and missed. And Hill strikes out the last two West Deptford players to end things here. 5 runs for Cherry Hill. The big blow of Jason Kelmer 2-run blast, and Hill came into relief to shut down that potent West Deptford offense. Cherry Hill victorious 5-1. Stick around, post-game interviews and a wrap. After this, welcome back to Union Field. Cherry Hill victorious 5-1 over West Deptford. Rob Christ here with winning head coach Ron Krowiak. And Coach, a big win for you. This is a team that has gotten hot of late. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. And what do you attribute the success of this program in the last couple of weeks?
Well, basically our boys have been working real hard. They've focused on playing good fundamental baseball. Our pitchers have been working every day. I've got the coaches that are Coach Estelo, Coach Russin, Coach Caruso, are doing a great job on a day-to-day, working with the boys, practicing, building a structure into the program. But basically it's hard work, and the breaks have gone our way, and we hope they continue.
Well, today was a fine win over an excellent West Deptford program. You're probably being very humble in terms of saying that the breaks have gone your way. Today it was a fine performance, not only from your pitcher, but all around. In the first inning, it looked like you had a big opportunity to go by the wayside, but you came right back in that second inning and bunched some hits together. Talk a little bit about, offensively what your team has been able to do.
Well, one of the things I was very proud of is the fact, there are times when you have a scoring opportunity like we did in the first inning, and then you don't score and you kind of put your head down and go away. But our team has got some good leaders on the team, and they bounce back and they just keep coming. And they're good. They work hard, and they know that any team can beat any other team, in a regular game through the season, and the game is never over. So to win, particularly against a quality program like West Deptford, you can't let up. You've got to go at them all the time, and you got to bounce back from any bad breaks.
Now, it's still relatively early in the season. Of course, quite a few teams qualify for the playoffs. But, did you kind of look at this game as one of the bigger games during the course of the season?
It was a big game for us, not only to continue our winning streak, but also to beat again a quality program like West Deptford. West Deptford has been, a consistent yearly participant in the state tournament. They go far. They play real good baseball, and they're normally in the top 2 or 3 of our league. So to have a win over them today was big, and it's a big up boost for our team.
Well, we talked a little bit about the offensive output of this team, but of course pitching wins championships. Today no different, as this Cherry Hill squad able to limit West Deptford just to 1 run with Marc Narducci with Andrew Hoffman.
all right, thank you very much, Rob. Andrew, a tremendous game for you. It's interesting, though. You said that you didn't have all your pitches tonight.
No, I couldn't find my changeup, and my slider worked a little bit towards the end of the game, but my splitter wasn't really there. And changeup, which is usually my best pitch, wasn't there at all, and it was hard to work around that.
You seem to live on that outside part of the plate tonight.
That's my bread and butter. I have a fear of throwing inside. I was always taught that you want to throw stuff away from the barrel, because the fatter the barrel, the better a pitch is going to be able to hit. So I always try to work on the outside.
Speaking about hit, this is one heck of a West Deptford team. They have one of the better offenses in this league. What's this do for your confidence to limit a team like this to 1 run?
Well, you learn how to. When you face a good team like a West Deptford, some team that's very disciplined to play, you learn how to finesse around the better hitters. Like their 3-hitter, I think I had him 3 times on strikeouts tonight. You learn how to pitch to different types of hitters. They're stronger hitters, 3, 4, 5. You got to stay away from the heart of the plate, and you got to work the edges and paint the black.
Some deep counts. A couple guys got on that 6. Were you getting tired there?
I was getting a little tired. I mean, I threw 100. I was at 101, I think, at the start of the 6th inning, and I told him I wanted to start it, and if I got in trouble, to take me out. And sure enough, got in trouble and came out. But Dan did a great job coming in and just knocking down the rest of the hitters. It's
interesting because this is a league where pitching depth is going to obviously be a key, and with Dan coming in tonight and you doing this, it looks like that this is a kind of staff that's going to give Cherry Hill the chance to be competitive with the best teams in this league.
We have amazing depth in our pitching. We have Mike Cox, he's a college pitcher. Vinny Vora was our number 2 for high school. We have a couple kids from East, and we have a junior college player. He's got elbow tendonitis, but he throws high 80s to low 90s. And once his arm gets strong, we'll hopefully be able to use him as a closer in the future. But I mean, with me, Vinny, Michael, and a couple other guys, I mean, we can go anywhere.
Andrew, one last thing. You're heading to junior college in Alabama. How much is this going to help you this summer playing in this league, which is considered one of the quality American Legion leagues, not only in the state but nationwide?
Again, I'm going back to the learning to pitch against the better hitters. I mean, when I go to college, I'll only be facing freshmen and sophomores. But you learn to pitch. A college 3-hitter is different than a senior Legion 3-hitter. So you have to learn really to paint the edges, work your command, and know what you can do in certain situations and what you can't do.
Well, congratulations. Great
Thank you very
job.
much.
Great job. Rob, Andrew Hoffman, who, as he said, didn't have his best stuff, but as you know, that's all part of pitching, to kind of keep working at it, and he really grinded out there, and we can't emphasize enough, this is an excellent hitting West Deptford team.
There's no question about that. This West Deptford team, as you know, both players, both the coach and the player indicated, is a program that's always around it, at the end of the season. And, one of the things that really impressed me when we talked to Hoffman there, or as you spoke to him, is that to be a quality pitcher, not only do you have to be a bulldog on the mound, but I think a certain degree of intellect is also required, and he's so articulate, you know that he's going to do well in college.
Absolutely, and with so many good teams and so many teams fighting for those top 6 spots, every victory is big, but as you mentioned to Coach Kroyak, especially over a winning team like that. So this was a major win tonight for Cherry Hill.
Well, we'll look to see as the season progresses how each of these teams will do. Both of these programs have enjoyed a certain amount of success through the years, and I don't expect this year to be any different.
There's no question about it, and I expect that by the time the 8 teams are in the state tournament, I would be surprised if at least 2 didn't come from this Camden County League.
Well, once again, your final score from West Deptford, it was Cherry Hill victorious 5-1 over West Deptford in American Legion baseball action. For my partner, Marc Narducci, my director, Stan Ritter, and all the crew, I'm Rob Chris. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.